Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Carson's Take 5 with Ryan and Sonu. Sonu, we were thinking about, what we should talk about this week. And we said, you know what? Let's talk about tariffs because they are out there. I think there's a lot of information swirling around that maybe isn't quite true, but the media hypes it up. I mean, what really matters? So again, we're going to talk about how worried we should be about tariffs. Let's just start there, right?
Yeah,
how worried are you?
and I think this week, the first week of the year, really, first full week of the trading calendar, we saw the salience of tariffs come into play. Both the positive and negative, right? Beginning of the week, one thing that happened was there was some of President Trump's advisors. We don't know who they are, but they're going to be in the incoming administration. They said, yes, we are thinking about universal tariffs, but it's going to be targeted. It's only for critical materials, right? Certain minerals that you need and, medical supplies, stuff like that, right? It's not going to be across the board, across every single consumer good, every single capital good that businesses use. And the markets took that really positively, right? They're like, okay, tariffs are going to be very targeted. And then, it was almost like President Trump came out and said, never mind, right? And then things went the other way. And we're going to talk about the dollar. As soon as we got that initial positive news that the tariffs will be targeted, the dollar went down a lot, right? But then once President Trump came out and said sort of like, oh, never mind, the dollar sort of rallied again, right? So we saw both sides of that coin, that tariff coin, play out in markets. And then again, this is the day we are recording this is January 8th. We got news that President Trump's thinking of, declaring an economic emergency. What that means is that he can potentially put, large tariffs across the board, right? From the executive office itself. And markets didn't really like that. Bond yields rose, the dollar rose, equity markets had some, volatility. So again, all this is playing out. I think this is, we still don't know what's going to happen to tariffs, but there's going to be a lot of noise. There's going to be a lot of volatility around these announcements, Ryan.
No, well said. I'll kind of wrap things up here. I mean, tariffs are out there. Right. And so it shouldn't surprise the market. I mean, in 2018, when those tariffs started, it really surprised the market. 2018, February 5th, 2018, market, that's when the tariffs started. Market sold off pretty hard. Now there's some volatility around this. Now, could we have a tariff war? Could we have a tick for tat battle? I mean, yes, I guess it's possible. We're still thinking, you read Trump's book, Art of the Deal, you come out big, swinging big, and then you kind of pull back a little. We just think that's probably the way it is. But also, let's not forget this. All those tariffs that President Trump put on, President Biden left all of them on and even added a little bit. So we've had tariffs since 28. We actually have had tariffs for a very long time, but a lot of tariffs started in 2018 and they've been there the whole time. Did it cause massive inflation back then? Did it cause a recession? No. 2018, 2019, inflation was honestly just kind of fine. So then you think about where we are now. Hey, it's a little more tariffs. It's a worry. There's concern, but I guess we just aren't overly worried yet. I think Sonu, and again, we need to keep this, kind of short, but the strength in the dollar worries us more than probably anything with tariffs. Maybe they're related, but a stronger dollar could upset the apple cart, right?
Right. And again, that's also two sides of the same coin. A stronger dollar means it offsets some of the inflationary impact of tariffs.
Yep.
Right. It makes, it offsets that. The prices increase because of tariffs, but the dollar is stronger. So imports become a little cheaper. Mm-hmm. But a dollar is a risk too. It poses a few risks. One is it makes manufacturing goods from the US more expensive, right, for the rest of the world because the dollar is stronger. And then it hurts S&P 500 earnings as well, because 40% of revenues for S&P 500 companies come from outside the country, comes from the rest of the world. And that's worth less because the dollar is stronger as well. And then if you're invested in international equities, the dollar being stronger is a potential headwind too. So there are a few ways in which dollar strength manifests itself as a threat. But again, we're not saying any of these will actually happen. It's just something to keep an eye on.
Absolutely. So the dollar, tariffs, those are absolutely threats potentially to a bullish thesis in 2025. We're not overly worried about them yet, but we're watching them every day. And we're excited because next week in the next Take 5, we're going to release the Carson Investor Research 2025 Outlook. Not going to give away the title quite yet, but it's going to be a lot of fun and you're going to enjoy it. And we're going to also point out a lot of positives, right? We talked about some negatives this week. Positives are coming. Everyone have a great 2025. Take care. Thank you.